What's going on guys, Balkan Architect here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about 3D printing from Revit. So as you can see over here, I've got a little 3D printed model. So last week I had the privilege or the opportunity to try out 3D printing for the first time in my life, and because I'm a Revit user and I'm an architect and I use Revit for architecture, I made an architecture model using 3D printing. Now this is for my final master thesis project, so I have a very complex form, and the only way I could create that form was through 3D printing, so that's why I wanted to test that out and I wanted to get this model. Now, more on that project, if you haven't seen my previous videos, I'm going to link those in the description, so there you can check out basically about this project and why it looks like that, and basically more information and even how I model it. I'm even going to create a complete course on how I created that basically the whole model, and that's going to be sometimes next week. But anyways, so let's get into 3D printing. I want to share some tips and tricks and just something you should know before you go to your 3D printers and test everything out, because I made lots of beginners mistakes, so I wanted to share some tips with you so you don't make those. So first I want to show you what the model looks like. So basically I have this half sphere. My final architecture model is going to be a section through my building, so I really didn't know how to create something that looks like this out of any other material, so that's why I went with 3D printing. As you can see here, we have some construction elements, and then we have the spiral that's kind of cutting through the sphere, and on the other side it looks like this, and it's actually going to be standing on these two legs. So yeah, that's the final model that I had to create. Now if you can see maybe here, okay, I'm going to make some additional footage, but as you can see from the model, it isn't really perfect. It's got a lot of imperfections, these rings over here, things like that, especially here perhaps. So it's got a bunch of imperfections, but that's just because I had to do it real quick. This was kind of a last minute, and even this kind of rough model took 18 hours to complete. So it took the guy that was that had the 3D printer 18 hours to print this out. So it takes a long time, and that's why the quality is a bit lower. Also, some of the other tips and tricks on how to set these things up in Revit, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you on my screen right now. So let's switch to the screen and let me show you what the original model looked like and what are some of the changes that they had to make to the model and how to export to prepare for 3D printing. So here, as you can see in Revit, here I have the model. So this is my project. Now, if I were to take this to a 3D printer or just to export this file, this wouldn't work. For example, look at this spiral. It has, of course, a railing, because you need to have railing. It's a architectural project. People can't fall from here. But if you had this railing would be way too thin. So in this sphere, as you can see, we don't really have any railing here in these spirals, so there's no railing in the final model. So railing is something I had to get rid of. And also, when you look at the sphere, for example here where we have this opening, you can see it's very thin. If I select that element, as you can see, it's a wall that's been attached to an in-place mass. So if I select that wall, it's a generic 300 millimeter wall. So it's a 300 millimeter wall, and in this scale that would be something like I don't know, like less than a millimeter or something like that. Now I had to make it significantly bigger for the final model. So just keep in mind that things that look realistic in your model need to be scaled up so they would be thick enough in the final model. So what I did for the final one, I just saved this file as a new one. I called it a 3D printing model, and I kind of made some changes. So as you can see over here, I've just deleted half of the sphere. I deleted the rest of the project, of course. And then, for example, for this spiral, I got rid of the railing, but also I made it a lot thicker. I didn't really change the name, but if we go here, and as you can see, the thickness is like half a meter. And when you go here to the whole sphere, I still didn't change the name, but it's 0.8 meters. So it's significantly larger, almost 3 times thicker. Same thing with this floor over here. The construction stayed the same, but the construction was thick enough already. And also I had to kind of make this a half. So you can do that by using a section box, which I did. If I go here into reveal hidden elements, you can see I have a section box here. But what I found out is that section boxes kind of give you some problems. So what I had to do in the end, as you can see, if I select this and go in place, and I can select this, and here as you can see we have a void. This is a floor void, so this void is basically cutting through all of my spirals, so I had to create a void that cuts through that. Of course the sphere was in 2 halves even in the original models. In the original model, as you can see, I can select 1 half and then the other, so basically I just deleted 1 half. And for the rest of these, again, I had to go inside of the model and then kind of make some changes and basically cut everything up manually. Also here, it was standing only on these legs, but I've also added these little walls over here, just so the final model, as you can see over here, if you can see that, yeah, so the final model can be kind of a bit more stable, so it has those little additional points where I can glue it to the rest of the model, so that was really important as well. Now, once you change everything and once you make everything thicker and once you delete any of the smaller elements, so maybe if you have some, I don't know, some railings, things like that, just get rid of those. Furniture as well, get rid of that. So just keep just thick elements and just the basic elements, and then you're finally ready for 3D printing. Now you can't go from Revit into 3D printing, that wouldn't work, so what you really have to do is you need to export. Now I only use Revit and AutoCAD, I don't really have much experience in other 3D programs, and guys that do 3D printing usually go with something like Rhinoceros. So what I had to do in this case was I had to export into AutoCAD and then export from AutoCAD into a different file format. So what I did is go here to just file, go here to export, and then you go into the let's see, so up here, yeah, we have the CAD formats, and once in CAD formats you go to DWG, and here one really important setting, so there's only one setting that you have to do over here, but you absolutely have to do it, and let's go here into this 3 dots that you have here, open that up, and here we have solids. Now usually they're going to be set to polymesh. Now what you have to do is you have to basically go in and set it to ACIS solids. I don't know what this ACIS means, to be honest, but solids means that it's going to save this as solid geometry, and then you would go next and then basically choose where you're going to save it as an AutoCAD file. I'm just going to cancel out of that just because I already saved that as an AutoCAD file. So basically you don't want these elements to be a mesh, you want them to be 3D geometry or a 3D solid, and then when you open that up in AutoCAD it looks something like this. So there we go, we have that 3D element in AutoCAD, and just what you need to do with this thing is you need to export it again. So you go here to AutoCAD, export, let's see. So you have this other formats option, so I go here to other formats, and then you can basically save it, and the file format, let me see, was the STL. Usually they use STL for this, and then you just save it as that format and you're done. Also you can save it as this SAT format, but STL is usually what the 3D printing guys use. So just save it as that, and then you can send it off to do 3D printing. Now for this particular model there are some 3D printer settings that you can do. So for this particular model I just thought it would be a good idea to share those. So the setting was draft for quality, and then for the fill, because I don't know how much can you see it, but when you look at it like at the light, you can see a little like construction inside of it, and that's really cool. So basically it's kind of filling this thing out so it's not completely filled inside. It's just got some mesh construction, and that mesh construction, you can set that up. So the guy that was doing this model set it up, I think, at 30% or 20-30% if infill, so you can set it up at whatever. So in this case, 30% works perfectly. I really don't have any I wouldn't change those settings. One more thing, because I had this sphere inside of a sphere, inside it kind of does some extra construction just to hold everything in place, and then you have to kind of rip that out. Now, just because I have these two spheres, it's really hard to access like the back of it, and in this case I can't really access and get rid of those in the back, so that's just a problem. But it isn't that visible, so I guess it doesn't matter all that much. Okay, so those are the tips and tricks and my first experience with 3D printing in Revit. Hopefully I've shared something useful, and then you can use it to make your own 3D printed models in Revit. So that's basically the approach, and I hope you find it useful, and I hope you try out some of your 3D printed models. Now, if you want to download this model, the CAD file, as well as the Revit files, as well as my whole master thesis project, check out my Patreon. First, a link in the description. Also there, I've got all of my Revit project files, over 300 files so far, so check those out if you want to. And I've got some advanced courses, like 23 courses so far. And again, as I said, next week I'm going to be doing a course where I show you completely from start to finish how to do advanced massing to get to the shape that I have created for that particular project. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this quick tutorial or a rundown on what you need to know about 3D printing from Revit. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for any future videos, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.